um, myth labs I've ever done, right? Myth and fiction. So I'm just getting it ready, man. I'm going to talk about the 6 types of fire in fiction and mythology, right? And I'm going to get deep into it because we started this conversation the other day when I was talking about dragon fire. So that's what kind of set it all off. So give me 1 sec. I'm just kind of prepping. Give me a sec. You can see the topics I've got up here. Give me one moment. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so that was just a little bit of prep time before I get into this conversation about the 6 types of fire that we find in mythology and fiction. Like these are the most common fires that are going to be out there. Now, I'm not going to talk about dragon fire again because I talked about dragon fire pretty extensively, right? Dragon fire got its own everything because hey, we're in the dragon season. So I don't have a problem or even wonder why we're talking about dragon fire because I brought it up. But we're gonna move on to the next set, right? Now, the next one obviously is what we like to call regular ass fire, right? Just regular fire. Regular fire that we know, like, and here's the thing. Regular fire has always been a huge, huge thing. Regular fire was a big deal. Regular fire was a big deal when we got it, right? Like regular fire, we just call it fire, but I call it regular ass fire compared to these other fires, right? This is regular ass fire. However, without regular ass fire, we don't even have civilizations that we do. That's why the myth of Prometheus, which is a story all about fire, is so important, right? That getting fire unlocked all kinds of stuff. We needed hot, really intense hot for a lot of technologies, including like pottery, agricultural expansion, metalworking, everything. Modern tech, we needed fire. Without fire, there is no civilization. That's one of those bridge technologies that if you don't have this, you can't expand into various likes of, various different types of technologies, right? So we know about fire and what does fire burn? Well, for us here on Earth, it burns everything. Like fire is the universal, I'll burn that ass up, right? Because fire has a range, right? We use it for everything. Like this is how versatile regular ass fire is. Nothing regular about regular ass fire, right? We use it to cook. We use it for warmth. We use it for our industry. We use it for warfare. We use it for amusement, right? Literally, fireworks, all that stuff, man. We use fire. A day without fire, it would change this planet. Like even today, if all the fire went on strike, if regular fire was to hear me talking about this and had a particular feeling about me not respecting regular ass fire and decided to go on strike, it would be a problem tomorrow. I would have to come on here and apologize to regular ass fire and say, you know what, you're not regular in any aspect of the way. You are not regular at all. You are incredible, right? I'm closing out a bunch of windows because my shit's kind of lagging here. So I'm closing out all this extra memory. Right. But that's what regular fire means. We don't survive without it. If fire was to go out today, is some people going to die tonight, right? It's like some people will be dead. We will be talking about all the people who are dead because fire didn't show up today. That's how powerful and important fire actually is for every single human being. Despite the fact that I continually disparage regular ass fire by calling it regular ass fire. But we're comparing it to all these other things. That's all I'm saying, like fire. And I'm gonna stop calling you regular ass fire. But you are regular ass fire, it is what you are. Okay. But we use you for everything. You're intricately tied into every dang thing that we do, right? I mean, literally, like I keep a pocket little launcher of fire on me all the time. That's how important fire is, right? This is regular fire. This is everything. So this is where we get stories like, Prometheus' story becomes very important. So it's linked into mythology. This is where Prometheus' story becomes very important, right? Fire has shaped our culture individually on civilizational scales. Fire has had a say in almost everything we do. Like just our life. Now what does it consume? Everything. What does fire mean? Like symbolically, we associate it with life, warmth, home, knowledge, civilization, and transformation. Although it also means destruction, war, disaster, loss of control. Right? There's nothing worse than when fire get out of control, get out of pocket. Like fire and water, we ride that line with both of them. These are the two most definitive expressions of nature: fire and water. And either one of them gets out of hand, you got a problem. If either fire or water start running crazy in your house, it's funny. Like we call fire, we call water when fire gets out of control. Like when fire starts tripping, we're like, water, you don't help, right? With fire, right? Not also realizing that, water can also get out of control too. Like a lot of times when people, you have a house fire, a lot of the biggest part of it is the water damage, right? Like that's it. Because these are two opposed cosmic, expressions here right now. Fire of civilization. Fire really, really matters. We ain't going nowhere without fire, right? So I don't mean to disrespect fire. I'm just saying next to other stuff, it is what it is. But you're dominant on this planet. And I would think that would be enough, man. I would think that would be enough, right? I know everybody wants to go global, but maybe you're never going to get there, right? So when I'm talking about fire, we know about fire. Its fuel sources are, you can use fuel. It's going to need oxygen. It's going to need ignition source. So you take anything away. This is the fire triangle, right? Fire can go from 600 degrees up to like 1800 degrees. That's what we're working with, right? A house fire can get up to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Fire forges can reach up to 3000 degrees, and wildfire spots can be in excessive of 2,000 degrees. Holy be Jesus. Fire is really out there. 10 times, 20 times hotter than how hot it is outside right now in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is where I'm located at, right? So who uses fire? Everybody. Like I'm a fire wielder right here. I'm telling you guys right now. Right? I don't want to flick this thing because you never know what YouTube's going to do. So I'm not going to start a fire online. But just so you guys know, I have mastered fire. Right? Personally, I have mastered fire. I have mastery over fire in multiple implements. I can go anywhere in my house and start a fire right now in no time. I'm in complete fire mastery, right? And everyone on this planet uses fire all the time, right? This is the gift from, like, Prometheus is still doing jail time over this. Okay? Prometheus got locked up for giving us fire, I don't know, man, like 2,000 years ago. He's still working on that same chain gang right now. He's still, what is he, pushing up a mountain, right? You guys know your mythology. What happened to Prometheus for giving us fire? I think it's punishment forever. Like, it's never done. You never get to quit, right? You never get to not. Jesus Christ, get out of here. All right, I'm trying to just close out some windows here. So this is the thing about fire. You can see the importance, the reaction to giving us fire, like the punishment to that should tell you how important fire is. Giving us fire was enough to say, like, yeah, life sentence. That's Zeus directly saying you have a life sentence on this, okay? Is it just because Zeus is crazy? Or is that what we're going to go to? We're going to say that Zeus, the king of gods, right? Greek gods. Were we going to say he didn't know what he was talking about when he's like, lock him up forever? Maybe Zeus knew the importance of said fire, and he did. Fire is our key to everything, right? Some of our greatest myths are about fire. Fire started the world. Like, everything is about fire. And fire, when it decides to kick up, man, like, look, when the fire decides to set the record straight and reinforce fire, it does it, right? Right? It's our metalworking, our pottery, our agricultural expansion. It's our industrialization, our modern technology. And without fire, there is nothing, right? What did Method Man say? I put the blaze in my name to spark flame. Right? Literally, I put the blaze in my name to spark flame because fire is everything, man. Fire, like controlling fire, man, it is rough. And fire gets pissed every now and then. And I'm gonna give you some examples of fire getting out of hand. I don't know if you ever had some fire get out of control on you. Okay. I have, okay, as a young person, right? I had to learn about the ills of fire. Okay, I did. This is crazy, right? But I'm reformed out of this. I gave that life up, right? I'm admitting to you that, yes, guys, I was often seduced by fire as a young boy. And I gave that foul mistress up in light of something more controlled, which is everything else, right? Now, great examples of fire just getting out of control. Well, the Great Fire of Rome. Like, I mean, I think the Great Fire of Rome burned for like 6 days. Like, I'm not joking, you guys. The Great Fire that ended Rome of antiquity, that like this was the final culmination of the end of the Roman Empire. That fire refused to go out. Okay, now you're gonna have to check me. I think that fire. I mean, I could check for myself right now, but I don't want to get caught in that whole conversation. But I do believe that the fire of Rome burned for like 6 days, and then they put it out, and then that bitch came back and restarted. Like it's something crazy like that. Like that. See how remember they were spinning? They're like, man, Nero's doing this and Nero's restarting fires. I don't know. I don't know if that's what really was going on. I think that was fire was saying, no, I'm not done. Like it's just like, I'm not done. I'm not burning that ass up yet. You guys are gonna learn this time. And we didn't. Right? Fire told us it was going to teach us a lesson, and we still didn't care. Think about the Great Fire of London that burned off like the old. Remember, like fire. Sometimes you're like, yeah, don't build your houses out of this. You can think what you want, but if you keep building a lot of your buildings out of wood, I'm going to burn that shit up. And it did. In the Fire of London, like all those places were, this ended medieval London as well. Like that like what came back is what we see now is what came out of that fire. They rebuilt London because of the Great Fire of London that burned all that wood out, right? And you see what was left and what they continued to build. So fire was like, I want the city to look different. So it did it, right? It burnt it up. And there's various accounts to why that fire even happened, right? Like, there's various accounts of that. But again, the power of fire, right? And then we look at the bombings of Tokyo, right? Like, yikes, man. Like, again, you have to order a new city after this, right? Your city, like it takes away. Fire can take away your roots and your foundation, right? Wildfires, come on, man. I'm from California, so we know about wildfires, man. Like the power of the wildfire. So look, again, I keep saying, regular ass fire, like it, but it's not disrespect. It's just truth, right? You're our fire. How about that? How about you're not regular ass? You're just our fire. And we know your weaknesses too. Lack of oxygen, lack of fuel, water. That's why we always got to call water. We always got to be cool with water, even though water will turn on you like that, man. Water turned on me last night. Literally, man. Water turned on me last night, man. I was getting myself a cool drink, right? And I had in the cup, I had all ice and everything was hooked up. And I had some other snacks. Go watch a movie with my wife, right? And then all of a sudden I reached for the water and water said, you and just spilled over, man. Like in water, what does it do? Does it try to stay uniform so I can put you all back in the cup and still go drink you? No. Every water had a different paper route, right? All the water's running on its own because it doesn't give a damn. It doesn't give a damn about nothing. Water's going to do whatever it wants to do. Sometimes it works in your favor, okay? It happens to be the perfect antidote to fire, right? A lot of water typically wins, right? So this is who we call on. And here's the thing. Fire in itself has a lot of symbolism. We talked about that stuff. What fire represents. Fire is a threat level on all levels. Like fire's never really. Fire can still destroy a city right now. I can't see a fire spreading through an entire nation anymore. Like I don't think there would be a fire. I think that's the cultural limits of a fire. I think you're still capable of burning down a lot of cities that still exist, like probably a lot of our older cities. Because I don't know if modern cities, because of what they're constructed out of, can ever be consumed by a fire like that. I don't think that that's the case. But like old buildings, yeah, we'll burn the shit out of you. Like there's plenty of places where like I'm sure there's old areas like San Francisco, old areas in New York, LA, where like, yeah, these places are all really close together. They're all wooden construction. You know what I'm saying? Because our fire is going to stop before it gets to stone. You're not really burning stones down, down in steel like most of the time. I mean, I think you can burn up steel, but like, yeah, you're not going further than that. But fire is like fire matters because it's foundational to who we are, right? So we're used to dealing with that kind of fire, and we can see what that fire's power and destruction can do, man. Like this fire, like this is like Johnny. This is like is Johnny Storm this kind of fire? What do you guys think? Is Johnny Storm? Well, okay. When we're talking about regular fire, is this like Johnny Storm? Is he regular fire? Like, tell me where Johnny Storm is at relative to this fire conversation. Because I do believe. What was it? What was the X-Men guy's name, man? Man, I know this guy took a picture. Man, he's the fire guy, man. He's the blonde hair fire kind of guy. What was his name? John. I don't know what he called himself. I'll look that shit up. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Now this is just the AI tool. He has a different kind of fire. Fly, project fire, shape fire. Yeah, so he's man. Yeah, so Johnny Storm's kind of like, Johnny Storm causes me a couple of particular issues, right? Like I'm not sure how to really frame Johnny Storm because okay, here's why. Here's why. Let me pull up a shot of Johnny Storm, okay? Just so we all know who I'm talking about here. All right. Let me add this. I'm gonna add the screen. Oh man, I got like so many screens. I never know which screen is. I'm trying to add the screen for your. Is it 4? Yeah. All right. Giggity. All right. All right. So Johnny Storm, of course, is the Marvel character, like the Human Torch, right? So Marvel's got a couple of different levels of fire. Like Johnny Storm can use his fire he can project fire, he can shape fire, he can generate fire from his own. He can't. Okay. He's pyrokinesis, right? But he's obviously not divine power, right? Like this isn't divine fire that Johnny Storm possesses, right? You're like a god tier wielder of regular fire, which is still pretty powerful, right? Like, what have we seen? Okay, but then this is where it gets real with Johnny Storm, right? He gets his Nova level, right? His Nova flame. Let's see. His Nova flame. Wait, how do you say it? Nova flame. Now his Nova flame, yeah, that's when he just goes off, right? Like this is Johnny Storm's ultimate attack weapon is his Nova flame. Okay. He can steel vaporizes, buildings disappear, man, and armies. Wow, like this is like wow. This is saying that his fire is still burning physical matter, but the energy output makes him look more like a star. That's what they're saying when he goes Nova, right? Okay. All right. Man, apparently I didn't realize this, man. There's a couple of different versions of the Human Torch. There's a normal Human Torch. Then his Nova Flame. There's a soul burn. Okay, let me look these up. There's soul burning capacity. Okay, Johnny Storm ordinary fire burns matter, right? Totally makes sense. Ghost Rider's Hellfire. Okay, so this is kind of gonna get into it. I still classify him like they're moving him into like whatever kind of flame he's into, it's still under regular ass fire. Like you can go Nova, like okay, understanding his powers like a star is all about fire. Like that's the core of it, right? Like, you know, I think it works relative to his power. I totally get that. So I'll go ahead and accept Johnny Storm operating as that fire level, right? But there is also like, okay. What about the original Human Torch, not Johnny Storm? What do we know about his capabilities? And is that the same person that became Vision? Let me check this out right here. Johnny Storm OG. Uh, okay, the fire. So the original, okay, Human Torch. His name. What is his name? Jim Hammond. What kind of fucking name is Jim Hammond? All right, but whatever. Let's look up Jim Hammond. Okay, Jim Hammond. Okay, this is the original Human Torch. It's kind of like Johnny Storm. I don't see a lot of difference between these guys. This is the original Human Torch, and so this is the OG that came out in 1939, right, by Professor Phineas Horton, right? So he's often known as the android Human Torch, which is weird that an android would specifically call himself the human anything. That's actually very strange and kind of concerning to me, right? But whatever. I'm gonna move on past this, right? We're just confirming that there is the existence of this android here, who is Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch. That's all I've always known him as, the original Human Torch, what we call it. Or Jim Hammond. You can look up Jim Hammond or the android Human Torch, right? Now, this guy can also ignite his entire body. He can also throw fire. He can also fly using like flame projection, right? He could melt metal, right? So he was doing that. He could burn through walls, generate intense heat, right? So he was ordinary fire, or as I call it, regular ass fire, with superhuman control. Now, unlike Johnny Storm, he was an android. He wasn't mutated. He wasn't cosmic. He wasn't even human. He was pure machine, right? So this is a character, man. Like he's deep in the lore too, man. This is a character like if you profess to be up on your Marvel knowledge, right? Like this is a dude you got to be back on. This is a dude. He predates Captain America. That's how deep this guy is, man. To Marvel lore, he predates Captain America, predates Fantastic Four, predates Avengers, right? It predates X-Men by like a billion years, right? And you know I'm down with X-Men. I love X-Men. So this is one of Marvel's oldest actual superheroes, man. Like how he got retired and they slid somebody else into a spot, but that's who he is, right? So this is a dude that comes out of this golden ages of comics, right? So like his power set was mad crazy, like regular fire, but he could melt tanks because remember they're fighting Nazis, right? So this is who he's up against. He could incinerate armies. He could fly at high speed. You know, he could do all that stuff. He was still mostly burning physical matter, right? So he doesn't have like it doesn't seem like he has a Nova level, right? That's Johnny Storm thing. He didn't have any cosmic fire. So yeah, he's like he's still like I say mostly Johnny Storm without Nova level powers. That's how I would sum him up, like essentially. Like, and here's the thing. Okay. I asked if this because I always thought his body became Vision. Let me see what it gives me back. Well, Vision before the Avengers. This is Supernatural Detective. What? Okay. Okay, there's a couple of like continuities to this. Like some continuities say that Jim Hammond, like that body, the physical Human Torch robot body, became the basis for the Vision, as we know the Vision now, right? That this was the body that became it. Others say that it was his brain patterns. Others still say it was just components of him were used to start the Vision's creation. So throughout that, there's kind of like, yeah, he at least he's somewhere in. He's part of the creation of the Vision. Okay, but that's what we're looking at. Like that's kind of what we see as who wills regular ass fire. Like regular ass fire, I would say. So we're saying like napalm. Napalm is also regular ass fire, right? Like napalm is still in this category. Like this is the extreme end of regular ass fire, right? So this goes to like what the power of regular ass fire actually is, right? As we get into this cosmic scale of ordinary fire, right? Yeah, napalm. We pull up like, man, these are terrible ones. Napalm. Um, yeah, I don't even want to show Napalm Girl. We're not even going to show Napalm. Man, like, okay, I don't want. Okay, yeah, I don't want to show Napalm Girl. I don't want to do it. Right? It's far too graphic for like even what we're on. I know it sounds crazy considering the stuff I'm talking about, but showing the image, you gonna have to look that shit up on your own, man. I don't want to get my channel taken away by showing Napalm Girl. But the image is essentially a little girl. I think it's Vietnam, and napalm burned all the clothes off of her. She's running through the streets naked, literally, because napalm burned like she's just clean. Napalm just it burned every it's a very powerful image, and obviously napalm. This is like the ordinary fire gets pushed to its practical limits. Like it burns everything, right? And the thing about it is, it's so absolutely terrifying. Is that regular fires can go out and be smothered and doesn't always like hit the target. Napalm was designed to solve every single one of those problems. It's basically gasoline thickened into like a sticky kind of jelly. So when it hits something, it sticks and then it just keeps burning and it spreads. It's extremely, extremely difficult to extinguish. So this is fire being engineered to be a better killer. Which, trust me, fire really didn't need any of that. This is a really, really like way off interpretation of what fire does. And man, it's really getting to the like the real like aspects of warfare and this very destructive, association with humanity, right? That's where it is. So it's been used obviously for bombing of cities, like, but it feels like it's on a whole different category, right? It's it's really up there. It's the machine gun of fire. It's a siege weapon. Like wildfire is like the siege weapon. This is like the machine gun. This is like a change in technology in horrific ways that like sometimes, man, I wonder, yeah, man, you know anyway, this is historically something else, and there's some real like levels where we can examine what regular ass fire has done, like firestorms, Hamburg, right? The oil fires, and I think it was Kuwaiti. In the oil fires, I think it was uh, uh, look at Korea and Vietnam, the napalm strikes. Like, man, this is really, really way outside. So napalm itself, fire itself, is like it's on a whole nother level, right? So we got to give regular ass fire its actual props a little bit, right? But the thing about it, regular fire, is that we're not just talking about you. We're talking about all the other kind of fires. Now, this is an important one here, right? We're going to talk about hellfire. And lots of people talk about hellfire. It's not even the number one fire that's out there, right? Like hellfire literally is just above regular ass fire. I'm not disrespecting regular ass fire. I'm simply saying that you're at the base level. You're the start, a very valuable member of the team, right? For all of us, you're just a local DJ, right? And that's fine. We need local DJs, okay? Hellfire, we all know, is a whole new level of exactly that. Hellfire. I mean, like, Hellfire right now, you're the scariest form of fire. Hands down, you are the absolute most terrifying form of fire that actually exists anywhere in the entire universe, right? Because you're not just burning flesh. This is why you get scary. This is why you're real scary. Because you're not just burning flesh. You burn souls. You burn spirits. You burn up magic. You burn up memories. You burn up sand. You burn up divine energy. You burn up supernatural beings, right? Like you can survive this stuff physically and still be mentally and spiritually absolutely destroyed. And we know what fire hellfire looks like. We know a lot about hellfire. We don't have really any defenses against. I mean, like the only defenses against hellfire is really like divine implement. You have to have something that's divine to be able to defend against hellfire because it gets anything that's below it, right? Like we know that about hellfire. It's insidious. Hellfire's typically going to be a deep crimson, a deep orange, blood red, black flames, maybe some dark purple in there, right? You gotta maybe you get some green and like some green infernal type flame, like fire, like all the hellfires. Like hellfire likes to switch it up, right? It likes to switch it up. Hellfire is the most like I'm going to show you a different side of myself than any other fire. It really like hellfire is its own brand. It's the most brash fire that's out there, right? Like it's number 2. It's a strong number 2, man. I'm only saying that you're number 2 because you're number 2. It's not saying anything about how powerful you are. It's just saying how powerful you are relative to everybody else. And relative to everybody else, I got to put you down here, right? I lose to you every single time. And I'm trying to avoid you, hellfire, but I'm just simply saying that, okay, this is who you are, all right? And we know what you are. We know what you are, okay? So let me give you guys a full dissertation on hellfire before somebody gets its feelings hurt. First of all, hellfire is extremely hot. It's not just hotter. It's not just hotter than regular fire, right? That's not it, right? It's not just vaporizing stone, incinerating by like it's all that is a vaporization of stone. The vaporization, like when they will that shit on you, man, like you ain't coming back from that, right? Like this is beyond magical because it's supernatural as well. Like this is the kind of fire where it gets ghost, right? This is the fire that this will hurt a demon. This is the first time you're getting in something that can hurt a demon. Although a lot of demons be like, I'm born from hellfire. What do you mean you're gonna hurt me with hellfire, right? Like, so that's even in debate on some myths. Let's go back to John Constantine on that one, right? But this will burn up enchanted objects, right? So if you got something that's magical, it can be destroyed by hellfire. So you have to be careful. And here's the thing about hellfire, man. Hellfire has a part-time job, right? I know that it comes from hell. I know that it comes from hell. I know that we all get that hellfire comes from hell, right? We forget the part of that's also, yeah, like this is judgment, right? It has a part-time job of judging you, right? You typically don't get exposed to hellfire for no reason. That's it. Like sometimes you do. Sometimes somebody who's bad at hellfire and they put it on you. But most of the time, or a lot of the time, when you end up in a place of hellfire, it's because you did something bad, right? So hellfire is also judgment, right? It's the most dangerous form of judgment, right? It's the form of judgment that says, yeah, I know you ain't gonna do it again. It's that side of judgment. Because we'll talk about other types of fire judgment, right? Trial by fire, right? Think about trial by fire, right? So hellfire attacks first and ask questions never, right? It attacks guilt, it attacks corruption, it attacks evil or the soul itself. Like that's where it changes the map right there. That's where it changes the map. It attacks your soul itself. Think about that, man. This is gonna damage your soul. It's looking at your soul. Hellfire looks at your soul and is like, yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you all about. That's what hellfire is, right? And you see, like, because we're gonna see some strong representations of hellfire. We're gonna talk about some strong representations of hellfire because hellfire is exactly that, right? This is what hellfire is. Ultimately, look at all these bad people. See all these bad people jumping in here, right? Okay, this is I'm gonna hip you guys to it. This is lyrically entwined in this. Nirvana said, "Where do bad folks go when they die? They don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Go to a lake and fire and fry. You won't see him again till the 4th of July." That is the most poetic version of "You went to hell and got burnt up" that I've ever heard because Kurt Cobain was breaking down the truth. Where do bad folks go when they die? They don't go to heaven where the angels fly, right? Go to a lake of fire and fry. A lake of fire. This is condemnation, right? This is punishment right here, right? And like, yeah, too bad that fire enjoys it. Too bad. Hellfire enjoys its job of punishing all people who did bad deserve it. And it gets a mandate. So it kind of has a pass, almost. Like, it almost it almost has a pass to burn you up, right? And here's the thing, I'm not even gonna lie about this. This is literally one of the first comic books I ever owned was Ghost Rider, right? Like literally that I don't that's probably not literally the one. I don't know. That's number 5. I can't remember which one I had. I was a child, but I was reading on these Ghost Rider stories like right away, and he was always like he didn't hurt anybody who was good, right? He didn't. Remember when in the first one he comes on the scene, he's in jail, he's burning up everybody in the jail cell except that one dude, and he's like, yeah, keep acting good, okay? Keep acting good. You're on the right path, all right? Keep it tight, because otherwise I'm Hellfire and I'm gonna come get you. This is judgment, right? So we know about it. We know about it. Hellfire is judgment fire, man. That you talk about a bad day, cross Hellfire and see what happens to you. Have Hellfire have you on its list. Like some people who wield Hellfire, I know they're way out there with their Hellfire, but let's be real. Like if you're out there doing some crazy stuff, like wow, it's out there, man. So I think like okay, so if we look at mythology, like who in myth wields Hellfire? Are we just talking about Satan, or what representations of hellfire do we actually see? Because I think there's some good representations of hellfire use out there, right? Like, yeah, let's see. Obviously, we're talking about Satan, right? Like this is Satan's spot, like hellfire. Satan and hellfire, right? Satan is known as the number one user of hellfire. Like I think he's most associated with hellfire more than anybody else is Satan, right? I think Satan and the name hellfire are almost synonymous. Like when you know it, you know when I say, yeah, this over here talking Satan, and you're like, man, you were at Satan's house? Isn't it some hellfire? And I'm like, no, he doesn't even live in there. He lives in off the Topanga Pass. But you would think about Satan, you think about hellfire. He is ultimately the primary user of hellfire, and we always accepted that about him, right? Like that's the relationship with hellfire. Now, Satan is typically in the Bible. Satan isn't actually depicted as throwing hellfire around like a fire image. He's usually, destined to be burned by the same flames himself. He also gets burnt up by hellfire. It's an interesting thing that Satan does get punished by hellfire. So the imagery of him ruling hell and wielding fire comes later, right? This idea of Satan actually like wielding hellfire, that actually comes from like later medieval mythology. Like that's actually where that comes from, right? So we can kind of even understand and grasp that wasn't necessarily what the Bible was saying when it talked about hellfire, but certainly the association with him is real now. We're saying it comes from like it's in folklore. Like we've crossed over to it. Like even though it wasn't manifested in his initial manifestations, like we get it now. Like so, especially when you start getting this stuff like Paradise Lost, right? Like let's remember Paradise Lost, right? Paradise Lost. This is a great rendition. This is a great idea because this really got you into hell. I don't know, man. Like if you're into just reading shit or even like a good audiobook, man, like Paradise Lost is an incredible journey. Like I'm not gonna joke with you, man. Like this is one of those storylines, those pieces of myth where this shit's gonna take you on a journey that you kind of need to experience. Like even having conversations about like, oh, it's a descent to these various realms of hell. Like you need to go into this story, right, and get that experience out of this book, right? Paradise Lost. I'm trying to think of when I first actually picked this one up, man. And I want to say it must have been like junior high school, maybe like 7th grade or something. Somebody put us on to like, Paradise Lost. And over a couple of years, I've read it at different stages and got different interpretations out of things. That's utterly insane, right? Like how it shapes it. So this has a lot to do with how we associate hellfire and who we associate with. So a lot of the stuff comes out of Milton, and it was extremely influential for a long time, right? And this is why. And then the other part is that, like, when we talk about Hades, right? For some reason, and how these crossed over, I know these are two different belief systems, but when we talk about Hades of Greek myth, right? Like, right? We kind of think about like hellfire too. Like, at least I do, right? Hades, Greek god, home, right? Like, if we think about, no, Hades, I don't want the god. Hades, the realm, right? Because it was a realm and a man, right? It was just coincidence that he said he had the same name. That was purely coincidence that he had the same name, right? So the realm of Hades, like, is said to be a realm where you have fire. Like, there's a fire element, at least in most representations. I know you have the river Styx. I know you have a lot of elements into even like the Greek representation of hell. But I kind of associated a lot of fire there. Like, I always kind of assumed that it was fire, right? Like the Furies. There's a lot of stuff in Greek mythology that makes me think of that. And then like hellfire. I'm trying to think, man. Like, because there's a couple of fires out there. Because even Kemetic beliefs, they have lakes of fire in Egyptian mythology as well. They have lakes of fire. They have fire pits. They have serpents that breathe fire, right? Like Apep, I think believes fire, but I think that's more. I don't know if that's hellfire. Apep, man, that's an interesting thing because that would mean like Apep is breathing hellfire, which I'm like, yeah, Apep is breathing hellfire, right? Like Apep is probably the biggest proponent of hellfire, right? They are breathing hellfire. That also exists. You know, let me see. Let me see. This is Apep. This is Egyptian, right? Let's go on this journey together, right? Apep. Fire. Yeah, so we see Apep, man, every night you're trying to like bring down creation. You're trying to stop Ra from making his nightly journey to get down there, do what he's got to do, and then still be reborn in the sun in the next morning so that I can also rise, right? You're trying to stop that. So, like, yeah, so there is hellfire in a lot of representations. Like, okay, so Zoroastrian beliefs, Angramanya, yeah, this is actually real. This is like a cosmic evil, and I think what he's doing is breathing like a level hellfire. In Christian beliefs, we get that. Demons and folklore are often associated with brimstone. Yeah, this is actually it, right? Let's look at demons and folklore. Let's look at that. Demons and folklore, right? Okay. Yeah, man, these guys always look like they're down with some fire. Like, man, I'm telling you, man, like this folklore, this kind of medieval folklore, I'm telling you, this stuff is some scary ass stuff right here, man. Like, I've read some of this stuff, and I'm telling you, man, like if you really get into like kind of the images and like how they saw, like, look at these demons, man. It's just sitting there eating people, man. Like, I don't even know what's going on down here at the bottom of this, right? Like, I don't even know what's going on. I see he's putting a person into his mouth. I mean, like, sometimes is choosing a belief system is, I don't want to deal with some of the elements of your belief. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't need that, man. I really don't need that. It's all kinds of like this hellish underworld, man. You can kind of see, yeah, I'm expecting these demons to be down there, right? Like this kind of like that whole folklore. Like, I don't even want to deal with that, man. They have some truly, truly like create. Like, I don't know, what is this thing right here, man? Like, what is this thing doing here? Oh, that's Japanese. Like, yeah, Japan. You gotta own that one. But this right here, this was enough for me. Like the eating with the ass out, and then somebody coming out. Like, what? Man, who thought of this stuff, man? Like, I'm serious. Like, how come we don't ever point out who? I don't even want to know the person who actually drew this image. I don't care, right? Like, I care, right? But if you told me that was Gozer the Garzarian, I'd be like, yeah, that's what Gozer looked like to me too, right? I would absolutely believe that. And then now, we get a lot of like, obviously, like I said, we have Ghosty. Ghosty is like heavily, to me, the representation of fire, hellfire. I didn't really think about it, but you know who else is wielding hellfire? Is it? It's my man Spawn wielding hellfire. Is Spawn wielding hellfire? You know what? I guess there are represent. You're right. You're right. I don't see how I'm dismissing Spawn's hellfire. Like, I think about his other weapons, but yeah, you're right. Then of course, like Trigon in DC. Trigon's another character, right? Who's, yeah, you're flat up demon. Yeah, you're absolutely demon. You're absolutely hellfire. So there's some real heavy hitters out there, man. repping Hellfire. Like some significantly heavy hitters repping Hellfire, man. This is truthful, man. Like yeah. So we getting up there, man. We getting up there because now we've gone from like regular ass fire being wielded by humans. Then we got into Dragonfire. We did that yesterday. Dragonfire got its own, 100% segment, right? So now we're moving on. Now we got Hellfire. This is demons. This is infernal. This is devils. This is infernal spirits, man. This is where we're really getting down to the nitty and the gritty of it, right? This is where we're really stepping up in levels of like, what kind of fire are we talking about here, right? And I'm with it, man. I'm absolutely with it to take this journey with you guys. I'm glad that we can finally have this conversation, right? Because we're not done. We're not done. You guys are gonna understand why I'm like regular ass fire. I'm not even that impressed with you anymore. Like, not that I'm not afraid of you or I'm immune to you. I'm simply saying there's some other stuff we got to worry about here right now, right? And what's the next thing after Hellfire? Like, I'm serious. What do you guys think is next after Hellfire? Because you know it's a doozy, man, right? Like, you know that this is a deuce deuce double deuce right here. If you're a step up above Hellfire, what could you be? Well, all you could possibly be is where you at here, right? Divine fire, right? Now this is divine fire, man. This is divine fire. This is magically divine fire. This is not ordinary fire as a tool, right? If that's how we're breaking down, ordinary fire is a tool, hellfire is a punishment, then divine fire is authority. Divine fire is not defined by its temperature, it is defined by its purpose, right? So in mythology, religion, fantasy, comic books, divine fire is the fire wielded by gods, it's wielded by angels, celestial beings, and sacred champions, right? It often represents judgment, again, right? We're going to judge you. You got to you got to accept that judgment, man. It's how it goes, right? But this is also purification. It's also revelation. It is creation. It is divine power, right? So again, it's one of them things like, if the shoe don't fit, you must equip. If you shouldn't be afraid of divine fire. If you're not bad, right? If you haven't done anything, you shouldn't be afraid of divine fire. Same thing with hellfire. You probably shouldn't. It seems like hellfire still burns you up anyway, though. I would still get out of the way of hellfire. I'm just simply saying, like, ghosty isn't gonna mess with you if you're not bad. So you shouldn't have to fear ghosty unless you're bad, right? So unlike other fires, divine fires, this will burn away guilt. It will purify instead of destroy. It will heal as well as harm. Like, it can heal you as well. That's one of the important components of what this type of fire is. It ignores physical laws. It can strike target anywhere it wants. They can get you with this stuff, man. This is really good. And this is about judgment, right? This is judgment. Gods do this all the time. Like, you heard of God. I will smite thee. This is what they were smiting you with. Bam. This is what you got smited with, right? This is what you got smote. He smoteth thee, right? He smoteth thee with divine fire. That's how they smite you. That's what they be like. Yeah, you know what? If he says something else, then I'm gonna smite this little asshole, right? That's what they be saying. And you say whatever they told you not to say, and then bam, and they smite you, and then you don't do that no more, right? That's what it is. It burns away your sin. It cleanses cursed object. It sanctifies holy ground. Like, it's the reset button that we all need sometimes in our life when it's gotten too wild. This is revelation, right? This brings about knowledge, enlightenment. Like, you see visions with this. You find your path in this. It's a divine message that you get coming through right here, right? So, like, divine fire, like, it stands out, right? It's a spark of creation. It's a spark of burning creation that we all need it, man. We all need it for us all to be here, man. I'm just glad you had the little spark of life, man. Just get that spark of life out there so I can exist. This is my motto on this, right? It's typically gold, white, silver, might be blue, white. You might see that version every now and then. Maybe rainbow colored, okay? No upset. Maybe rainbow colored sometimes. Obviously very sunlight, right? This is a very sunlight fire. We trust this kind of fire, man. This is the one fire that we're like, okay, this is the fire we can trust. If there's any fire I trust, I'm going over here with it. Somebody needs to ride with everybody. Like, I want to ride with divine fire. I do not want to take a ride from hellfire or ordinary fire. I don't even want to be near them guys. Divine fire is where I want to be at. This is the only fire you can really trust, right? It doesn't leave, soot in the air. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't smell burnt up after ever. It smells divine after. It smells cleansed, right? Now, this is a type of fire that can break. It can burn everything. Like, it can do everything. Like, right? It can burn wood. It can burn metal. It's frequently used to destroy armies. They use that to destroy as many armies as hellfire, right? They got after it with this. Vaporizing monsters, does it all the time, right? Purifies curses. Who else got this? Who else got purifies curses? Man, I know divine fire has that, right? Divine fire has the ability to harm spirits, to harm other gods if it needs to, and actually to reshape reality if the needs arise, right? So we're talking about the tippy top. These are the ones. These are the gods here that I'm like, man, you know what? This is some real powerhouse stuff right here. Like, if I go back over to Japanese culture, like this is their sun deity Amaterasu, right? And she is this power here. You see, she is this radiant light. That's how they depict her. That's divine flame right there. That's what she's repping right there. So this is sacred. This is the same as what you get with Ra. This is like, so this is it. This is that angelic flame. This is what they get. This is sacred heavenly fire, right? It often appears suddenly, it consumes offering, it demonstrates divine approval, and it punishes the wicked. You better not show your wicked ass over here, right? This is one of the oldest forms of divine fire in human history. This is the fire of knowledge itself. Think about that. I'm the fire of knowledge itself. This is what Prometheus steals from the gods and gives to humanity. It is fire itself. It is technology. It is civilization. He gave us divine fire. He didn't even just give us regular fire. He gave us divine fire, right? This is knowledge. This is a flame that is a divine gift, right? This is among even dragons. These are the ones that were chosen by gods. Even in the other realms, like there were your natural dragon fire and your sacred dragon fire. They have that as well. Sacred dragons often, it harms undead, it burns magic, ignores armor, right? It cleanses corruption in the same way. And a lot of those fantasy archetypes, right? A lot of fantasy archetypes have a very common character. I'm gonna see if I can pull up an image because this is a good one here, right? This goes all the way back to the D&D days. And it's the paladin, right? The paladin is that archetype of divine light. We see this character a lot, like the Knight of Light. This is a very, very important theme in common fantasy. This is very common, especially at the establishment of fantasy, right? This is it, right? And then you look at like divine fire in comics. I'm going to push back on that one. Now, Ghost Rider will interlap. Like, maybe even Superman. No, I can't. That's not divine power. Superman is not divine power. He's something else, right? He's not Hellfire. That's not divine. You're getting at something else, man. But I would say overall, like, this is what we get. Like, so this is divine fire. And you see, next to divine fire, like, regular fire doesn't seem all that great anymore, right? I'm just saying, right? But that's not even it. That's not even the tippy top of where we're talking about here. It's not even close to the tippy top of this right now, right? It's not. Like, let's be really honest here, okay? So the next level of this, obviously, is cosmic fire, right? Cosmic fire, man. Cosmic fire, you're on something really, really special, right? Cosmic fire is just, it's a whole, like the leap between divine fire and cosmic fire is like the Grand Canyon, right? Because their purposes are not even the same thing. They're literally not even the same energy. Cosmic level is almost what the nature of existence is. This is astronomical power. This is stellar power, right? This is celestial fire is what they would call it. Plasma-based fire. So it's a whole nother level. This is not ordinary fire. And then it's like a superheated matter, right? This is where electrons are stripped away from atoms. This is what we get to make stars. This is supernovas, quasars, pulsars. Solar flares, acceleration disks, gamma ray bursts. This is all under cosmic fire. This is stellar collapse, cosmic fire. The star is collapsing, cosmic fire. Its heat ranges are just catastrophic. This is the surface of the sun, is what we're talking about on the low end, right? Mid corona, this is millions, millions of degrees, right? This is what it is, billions of degrees, supernova. So what does cosmic fire actually do? Like, why do I need cosmic fire, right? You probably don't. You probably shouldn't have it, right? But cosmic fire literally manufactures the universe. You say, how do you make stars? With cosmic fire. This is how you create those stars that create life. Is through this cosmic fire. This is like the forge of elements. This is where we get iron from. This is where we get calcium that would end up in our bones. This is where we get gold from. This is where uranium for reactors come from. We are all actually born in this cosmic fire. It is the most important fire relative to us that we can imagine. This is fire that can destroy worlds, can rip the atmosphere from planets. It can destabilize electronics. This is everything. This can irradiate planets with energy of various kinds. This is how we reshape galaxies. This is when black holes are created with these jets of plasma that reach thousands of light years. You enter galaxies that are altered by cosmic scale radiation releases, all through cosmic fire. Cosmic fire may show itself as white, blue, gold, violet, ultraviolet, right? You may see plasma arc, stellar loops, solar prominence, Nubian clouds. These are all terms associated with cosmic powers. This is the sun. This is a giant nuclear furnace converting hydrogen into helium every single second of the day. Right? This is the Crab Nebula. This is the remains of a stellar explosion that we witnessed here on Earth. This is gamma radiation burst that still exists. And through mythology, what have we seen? We've seen, Kemet or Egypt come out with a solar power manifestation that was raw. Absolutely tied to this concept here, right? We absolutely, the Greek idea of the chariot of Helios, right? That kick flame. Surya, the Hindu god as well. All this creation, all this judgment. This is what we see when we talk about one of my favorite characters here. One of my favorite characters here, obviously Dark Phoenix. Right? This is one of my favorite storylines ever. And I even thought Jean looked badass as she was going through the transformation, but I wish she wasn't burning everybody up. But she did. She did it, man. We have to admit that. We can't keep hiding behind. Jean did this shit, right? But anyway, this is what we're talking about. This is that fire. This is Galactus fire, right? This is what it is. Silver Surfer fire here, right? This is kind of the theme that puts all these together. This is the level of being that we're talking about when you wield cosmic fire. It's definitely on a whole nother level. It's definitely on a whole nother. So when we start from regular ass fire, you can see how we end up here. Why I was talking about regular ass fire the way I did. Not a form of disrespect, regular ass fire. Simply stating like, yeah, this is a scale. And this is where you are on the scale. And the last one is, man, like the last one's obviously the best one. This is primordial fire. This is it. This is the moms and pops of energy. Like this is literally like the moms and pops of everything. It's the first flame of anything before anybody thought about being a flame. There's primordial flame. This is the original, the OG of creator forces from which reality itself emerges. So it don't get no higher than that. It isn't merely even hot. It's not even fire in the chemical sense. It's simply the closest way that a mortal brain could describe what we would behold here. That's what cosmic fire is. It represents creation, potential, energy before matter, light, all these things before the other manifestations. How hot these things get, it doesn't matter. That's not what it's on. This is primordial fire. This is the purest form of fire. This is associated with creation, birth, transformation, right? Purification, potential, right? Renewal. All those things are a big part of what primordial energy is. I don't know if it has any weaknesses. Honestly, I don't think it even has any weaknesses. This is where we get to Muspel, Egyptian cosmology, they talk about this. Greek myths. There's a lot of places to talk about this particular thing, right? Like this level of like power. This is it. This is beyond our level, right? The cosmic level, and we all eat that stuff up. So I just kind of want to get into a little bit of a breakdown just today, just to kind of expand on the other powers that are out there. Like, if obviously you got your freaking dragon fire, but this is what the other complementary types of power sources is. So anyway, I'm going to get this up, all the clips, all the background stuff. I'll have it up on the website. On the YouTube channel or my Facebook channel for the page. So go just check the YouTube and it'll be right there in like the community section. But let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'm getting on some new research here in a bit.